Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Outer Rim Cantina. My name is Alan, and today, first off, I want to apologize for sounding like total crap, because, well, I feel like total crap. And if you follow me on Twitter, you know that I didn't have a video on Thursday because I have a cold. I'm just now starting to get over it, and I'm feeling well enough to make a video for you guys today. And second thing, I want you to just kind of ignore the Battlefront 2 gameplay on the screen in front of you. This is not a Battlefront 2 video, I just had to have something on the screen because I didn't feel like prepping a whole on-camera video. Now, with that out of the way, let's get into what this video is actually about. And that is everyone's favorite Star Wars subreddit, r/prequel memes. Now, I'm not personally subscribed to prequel memes. I unsubscribed from prequel memes almost 2 years ago when The Last Jedi came out, because at that point it made like the full transition from a subreddit that was actually about prequel memes to just a way to completely shit on The Last Jedi and the sequel trilogy as a whole, with the most unoriginal jokes you've ever seen in your entire life. So I haven't followed what's been going on prequel memes in about 2 years, but every once in a while one of their posts will creep into my timeline on Twitter, and this unfortunately was one of those times. So on Tuesday, their prequel memes bot made a post that was captioned, "If only," with this chart right here. And in case you can't tell right off the bat, this chart is supposed to, or timeline I should say, this timeline is supposed to mimic the Marvel Cinematic Universe timeline of movie releases and their Disney Plus shows that they unveiled at San Diego Comic-Con last week. Now, the main issue here, besides what the timeline actually says, is the fact that there are so many people that think Star Wars should be like the MCU and have the MCU approach to making movies and shows. And that is just the completely wrong way of thinking about it. Star Wars is not the MCU, it never will be, and it never should be. It is something entirely different. And just besides that, if we actually look at what's on the timeline, first of all, they want a Star Wars something every year, which obviously these people just forgot what happened with Solo and how it did so bad at the box office, being released 5 months after The Last Jedi. And on top of that, the actual things they have listed on this timeline are just, it's so stupid. It's so stupid, and I hate it so much. First of all, they want a Kenobi movie, which, okay, yeah, sure, we were supposed to get a Kenobi movie before Solo bombed, but now, if the rumors are to be believed, we're most likely getting a Kenobi miniseries. That'll be 6 episodes or so on Disney Plus, after both The Mandalorian and the Cassian Andor show. So that is still probably going to be a thing. But then, they want a Republic Commando series on Disney Plus. Why? If you want Republic Commando stuff, number one, play the game. It's an amazing game and one of my favorite Star Wars games of all time. And number two, read the book series. Actually pick up a book and read it. Because to this day, that is also one of my favorite Star Wars series of all time. The whole Republic Commando story, I will admit, is really good, but they don't need to have a show about it. It would literally just be a rehash of what happens in the books. And besides, the books aren't even canon anymore, and especially since Dave Filoni and George Lucas changed all of the Mandalorian lore and stuff that Karen Traviss built up in that series. So none of it even applies anymore. It's just stupid. No, we don't need that. It would literally just be a rehash of what we've already seen. And next on the timeline, we have Star Wars Dawn of the Jedi, which I can only assume would be like a Old Republic style, a movie in the Old Republic era, basically about how the Jedi got started. And again, why do we need to see that on screen? We really don't. Like, we know what happens, okay? It's not that big of a deal. And second on the list, we have Knights of the Old Republic, which, again, this might actually be happening if the rumors are to be believed, which I made a video on that last week, actually, talking about the rumors about a Knights of the Old Republic movie or trilogy, and whether or not I think they would be as good as the Old Republic games. You guys can go check that out if you're interested, but yeah, so that one might actually become a thing. I don't really know. But second on the list is another Disney Plus series titled The Star Wars Underworld, using the Star Wars Underworld podcast logo, conveniently. And again, completely, utterly useless. We don't need this. Like, I understand it was supposed to be a thing in, like, 2005, after Revenge of the Sith, but it just never came about. And we really, with all the Star Wars shows that we're getting already, The Mandalorian, for one, the Cassian Andor show, the Clone Wars, Rebels, Resistance, there's so many Star Wars shows already that the Star Wars Underworld does not need to be a thing. That's just stupid. And next on the list is a Fett standalone movie, which again, completely useless. It would just be bland copy-paste stuff from the EU on screen to please the fanboys. And next on the list is another Disney Plus series about Thrawn. Again, if you want to know about Thrawn, read the books and watch Rebels. You don't need a series about Thrawn. It's stupid. Get over it. There are plenty of other ways to get your Thrawn in, okay? And after that, we have Get of Destruction. Okay, that one might actually be kind of cool, not gonna lie. But again, kind of completely useless, and also just have Star Wars The Mandalorian Wars, using the Star Wars The Clone Wars logo. No, we don't need this, okay? We really don't. First of all, the timeline for what happened in the Old Republic, or like thousands and thousands of years before The Rise of Darth Vader, or even Episode 1, hasn't been established fully in the new canon, so we don't even know if the Mandalorian Wars actually technically happen. But having a show about the Mandalorian Wars, we're literally, Clone Wars Season 7 is going to be all about Mandalorians. It's literally about the Siege of Mandalore, okay? We don't need a show about the Mandalorian Wars. And last on the list is Lord Vader, A Star Wars Story. And this is where I lose it. Like, why would anyone in a mini comic series, all the video games, especially the VR games, all the novels, and his appearance in Rogue One would be enough? Literally all of Star Wars is centered around Darth Vader. We do not need a standalone Vader film. There's a reason that the newest Vader comic series isn't doing so, dude. Like, we know Darth Vader by now. We don't need a movie all about Darth Vader that would just end up being 2 hours of the Rogue One hallway scene. We don't need that. So as you can see, most of the things on this timeline are just bland, unoriginal, copy-pasted EU stuff that won't take any risks or anything, won't have a meaningful story. It'll literally just be fan service and be so unbelievably boring. And this is made even worse if you go into the replies, where most of them say something along the lines of, well, I'll only watch it if the story's good. And I'm just sitting here like, No, you won't watch it if the story's good, because The Last Jedi gave us one of the deepest Star Wars stories we've ever gotten, and all you do is sit on your computer, spend 8 hours a day, 7 days a week for 2 years shitting on that movie. If Lucasfilm dares change even one line of dialogue from your Republic Commando series, or your Lord Vader movie, or your Darth Bane series, then you will flip your shit and attack that content like you've attacked The Last Jedi. You don't want good story, you just want copy-pasted EU stuff because you happen to think that is the only Star Wars that exists. It's ridiculous, dude. I don't understand. The fandom is just going downhill so fast. And it's communities like Prequel Memes and the Fandom Menace and all of them that are pushing these complete bullshit narratives that are just ruining the community even more. Star Wars is not the MCU, it never will be, and it never should be. It is its own thing with its own stories. If you don't like it, fine, but don't shit on other people for liking something you don't. Just let people enjoy what they want to enjoy without trying to ruin the experience for them. And this is exactly the wrong way to act. Being completely close-minded to any new Star Wars stories at all. You've reached a point where you're just, all you want is is just stories you've already read or seen in comics or played in video games. Like, there's nothing original about it, there's no risks taken, there's no enjoyment in it. So get over it, dude. That's not gonna happen. Sure, we might actually be getting a few of these things on the list, but it won't be in the way that you expect, and that's a good thing. But I think that's the end of my little rant about this Star Wars MCU-esque timeline. Tell me what you guys think of this down in the comments. I would love to hear from you, but that's all the time I've got for this video. I'll see you guys back here on Thursday for some more Star Wars goodness. Until then, may the Force be with you. And hopefully I'll actually be over this cold by Tuesday, so I won't sound like complete crap all the way through the video.